it going, ladies and gentlemen? Thanks for joining. Look, in diecast today, five oddballs from the collection. We're going to look at some very, very oddball stuff in the collection. I'm going to kick it off with this. I do believe I've shown this on the channel once before, but it's been a long time. This is a Citroen Jumper 2002, which is basically a Fiat Ducato or a Ram ProMaster. All those versions are like that. They're all the exact same model. But this one is a Norev. So this is an RV. So I don't know if I ever took this out of the package when I showed this previously, but this thing's pretty cool. So this is mostly die-cast. It does have a plastic base on there. So I'm assuming these lines that are in there are for suspension potentially. I don't think it does anything in particular, but it's got some suspension to it. So I don't think it uses batteries or anything like that. It's nothing fancy, but it looks cool. It looks okay. It's relatively large. The model itself is pretty well detailed, as we saw on the base. The base is pretty bleh, but you can tell by the wheels, totally a Ram ProMaster or Fiat Ducato. This is probably a previous generation based on the front end. There is the details on the back. This particular one comes with a bike. So the bike just sits on the back just like that. It's just a piece of plastic, nothing fancy, basically just a chunk of plastic. It says Challenger on the back. The interior is an interior, although you can't really see into it, and there's not a lot of windows per se. And then there's the top, so it's kind of cool. Definitely not something you see very often, really at all. Let's see how this goes on here. This little plastic piece on the back holds the bike in there, just like that, and then it sits in two-piece blister pack, and then it just sits like that. Of course, you would never know the bike was in there unless you opened it, because you could never tell that from it being closed. So throw that on there in case anybody was wondering. That's from a previous video, so if you want to check out those Zuru machines, that was the previous one. All right, next oddball we're going to take a look at. This is the 1/64 scale GM test track vehicle. This is for their test track right there. You can see it on the back of the kind of card thing area there. There is the original purchase right there. Of course, come from Walt Disney Company. This, couldn't tell you how old this is. I don't know if there's a date on the back of this. Oh, 1997. So this is actually a lot older than I thought. So let's take a look at this. It's not taped shut or glued shut or anything, so might as well just take it out and take a look at it. So there is our GM test vehicle. So this was obviously meant to be an amusement park ride. Holds 6 people in there. The prints and stuff on it looks pretty good. It's S64. Put your print on there. It does roll, which is pretty nice. Giant wide tires. And those are like soft plastic. They're like really soft plastic. They're not rubber, but they're really soft plastic. And then just Disney bases on the Disney details on the base. But kind of a cool little thing. It's kind of funny that they specifically call out that it's 1/64 scale. A little bit of hazard deco on the headrests, but it's okay. Like I said, it does roll. It doesn't roll like super great, but it rolls. You know, this was meant to be one of the more I'm assuming cheaper souvenirs that you could get from Disney. I mean, clearly it was only like, what, $5, $5.99 or something like that. So let's see if we can get this back in there. That's going to be our test. I might have to just say no bueno until after the video. So, man, it's tight. There we go. Get that all closed up. Get back in there. So it's kind of a cool piece. Put that on the side. Don't want to cover up my LMD. All right, next one up. This one is pretty cool. This is a very, very, very cool piece. So this right here, look at the base details right there. Made in Germany. This is old school Siku. As you can see, the old school Siku logo on there. The trailer is not permanently attached, but it does have a working fifth wheel. So you do have to turn the thing to get the trailer to detach. The trailer detaches. This also has an opening cab, which looks okay. It's pretty straightforward. It's all die-cast though, and it's got rubber tires. It's got that extra dually on the back. Looks pretty good. So this is a pretty cool piece. The truck is clearly not the oddball here. What the oddball is this. So ADAC, I always forget what this means, but I think it has something to do with testing the brakes on a car. So this trailer is actually the test bed to do just that. And it's actually complete. It's been played with a little bit, but it's complete. To start with, this front section does open up, and there is a compressor that slides out. It doesn't come all the way out, but it does slide out. It's got details on both sides. Looks pretty decent. So that slides out. Now, the whole unit opens up. So this opens up on this side. There are little ramps, and sometimes a little bit easier just to get a little bit of a tool or something in there because they're very, very close with the top of the ramp there. So you pull those out, and then the little side doors will slide out as well. Get those to slide out. There's a little notch so that the top can hold down. And then on this side is the other side that opens up. So this will keep the top from falling down. You slide these two out. And then inside there is the two little end cap pieces. So we'll get those to slide out for us. There we go. There's one. They are very tightly in there. There we go. Let me get the other one out. Making a mess. So we'll get those two out of there. Slide our doors back open on the other side. And then there's a set of rollers in there. So you put the wheels on the rollers, and then it does what it needs to do. So this, set this down. Let's see, let's move this over here. So we'll take our copy right here. There is the print that's on there. And of course, this is all in German, because of course it is. So this goes on the front here. Now there's little clips that hold these on. Unfortunately, the one on this side is broken off. So it doesn't hold the sign up there all that well, but that's what it would look like with the sign on there. And of course, we'll just take one of these junky ones, and you would just pull it in the front section here. It would get down on the rollers, and then you would simulate that it's doing its test situation, but it goes all the way through. There's nothing in like this section here. It's just solid. There's nothing there. It's just a piece, and then this is just for that compressor piece that slides out. And then it got working landing gear on there as well. So it's a pretty cool piece. I didn't really know much about it, but I found it at a show maybe a year ago. And I was really stoked that it was actually complete, which was really, really nice. So you take the two pieces, and the other one is exactly the same. It's got the exact same print on it, just in case you guys were curious. So we'll put those pieces in there. Sometimes they go in there way easier than they come out. But slide the two pieces in there, then this just comes down, put the two more ramps up, and it's all die cast except for the doors. Those are plastic, but the rest of this entire trailer is metal. There is the deets on the base in case anybody wants to see the deets, and there of course is the old school Siku logo. The wheels are a little bit bent on this one, but it still has the rubber tires on it, which is nice. And then of course you just slide this in there, lock your fifth wheel, and then it's good to go. It's held in there nice and tightly. So that's a cool piece. At least I think that's a cool piece. It's definitely unique, definitely different. Definitely not something that you'd see made nowadays, except for maybe by Siku. Siku might still make it. Next oddball I have, this is a 1/15 scale BT lift jack. It doesn't work, unfortunately. It's more of a display model, but it's all die cast. It's made by Joel. There is the deets on the bottom. You see, scale is 1/15 scale. It's a ridiculous scale. Nothing's made in 1/15 scale. The tire or the wheel, the steer wheel works. You can see the handle steers it, and then these are just the outrigger wheels, but they do rotate, as need be. And then the front casters pivot as well. It's too bad that it doesn't work. It doesn't do anything at all, but at least the steering works. Of course, the handle goes back and forth. There is a little bit of details on the handle. It's an electric jack. So it's a cool piece. It's definitely something that you don't see in diecast hardly at all. It's just an oddball. So I do a lot of warehouse work, so I do have quite a few forklift style equipment and pieces of things like that. And that's just kind of a cool piece I came across. I thought it was something different. All right, the last piece I have on here, piece numero 5. I have a wind-up world. This is for pocket cars. This is Tomica. This is a little dynometer, a little dyno for your models. And I just so happen to have that exact 950, or I'm sorry, 928 right here. This was stapled onto this card, so I'm really not worried about it. There is some deets on the back. It comes with, there's a wash, there's a lift rack, car rack, there's a gas pump, and then of course this one right here. Collect them all, 1981 Tommy Corp. Like I said, this was stapled on there, so it's really not that big a deal to take it off of there. It really doesn't do anything. There is some base deets. Of course, it's made in Japan. So there is the top of it. This is a sticker. That's a sticker. The thing does this. This is the on and off switch. It does wind up, so we will see if it works. So we'll wind this up. Wind it, wind it, wind it, wind it. And then turn it on. And see, it works. You got to wind it up like a ridiculous amount, though. Let's turn this back off. Just wind this up real quick. And then we'll turn it on. It doesn't work much. Oh, there it goes. So, oh, there we go. So you turn this while the car is on the dyno. There you go. So you turn this. Sometimes. It works sometimes. Let's see here. Oh, it doesn't want to work now. Huh. It does work. Like, it does rotate the little dyno in the back. It doesn't really do anything. I have to see. You definitely can't. Well, I guess you could take it apart. I could take it apart and see if it works. But you guys get the idea. This is rubber, by the way. That's done in rubber, so that way it'll grip the tire when the model is sitting on there. And then, of course, it would just run. So it kind of works. It kind of works when it wants to work, which is kind of disappointing. I was really hoping that this would be a little bit more straightforward, but it's kind of cool. I mean, it's more of a niche thing. It's more of a meh, but I do think it's kind of cool. I just happen to have the 928 that was on the card art to put on there, but too bad that dyno thing doesn't really work the way it's supposed to work, but I still like this thing. I still think it's pretty cool. There was no point in keeping it carded because it was already stapled on there, so it is what it is. So anyways, there you go. There is a little bit of a showcase of Oddball in the mix. Just a couple 5 things, just some oddballs just to showcase. I like to keep bringing the stuff that's not mainstream. That's a big part of my channel. I tend to get away from that sometimes, so I like to bring that back. So drop a comment. Let me know what you guys think about that. Let me know if you've seen any of these before, or maybe if you have one of those in your collection. That'd be pretty cool too. So anyways, we're going to roll out. Appreciate every single one of you. Don't forget to subscribe. Come back for more diecast. And always, level him. Peace.